All right, let's talk about something. You ever feel like you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing with your money, but you just don't? It's that feeling, right? Well, today, we're going to tear down a business plan for an app that's trying to tackle that exact problem. We're talking about that super frustrating gap between what you know about finance and what you actually do. So let's just start with a question that might hit a little too close to home. Yeah, this is the big one that's really at the heart of Coinstack's whole mission. And it's meant to be a bit of a wake-up call. It's kind of a gut punch, right? Because for so many of us, the answer is, well, it's uncomfortably familiar. And that uncomfortable feeling, that leads us right into what the folks behind Coinstack are calling the modern money paradox. Think about it. We're part of a generation that has probably watched hours of financial advice on TikTok or YouTube. We know all the concepts, all the strategies, but then we look at our bank accounts and they're telling a completely different story. So let's dig into what that actually looks like. Okay, this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got the theory, right? All those powerful ideas you've heard a million times. Compound interest, index funds, the whole deal. And then, on the other side, you've got the reality of everyday life, a constant tug of war with impulse buys and that low-key anxiety that just kind of hangs around. It's this classic thing psychologists talk about, the gap between what you intend to do and what you actually do. You know the right path, you just can't seem to make yourself walk it. And boom, this quote from the source material absolutely hits the nail on the head. This right here, this is the core diagnosis of the entire problem. See, you can have all the financial knowledge in the world. I mean, you could be a walk-in encyclopedia of finance, but if it doesn't change your behavior at that critical moment, when you're about to top your card, then it's all just trivia, isn't it? So that begs the question, right? Why isn't all this content working? I mean, we have more access to financial information than any other time in human history, literally at our fingertips. So why aren't we seeing better results? Well, the project behind Coinstack points to a few major failures in how we're currently trying to teach this stuff.
So it turns out the current system is failing us in 4 big ways. First, we're just drowning in information. There's endless content, but no real plan for what to do with it. Second, the advice is always so abstract. Textbook examples that have absolutely nothing to do with your specific spending habits, like that daily coffee run. Third, our budgeting apps, they're basically just looking in the rearview mirror. They're great at showing you where you messed up last month, but they don't actually help you do better tomorrow. And finally, those corporate wellness programs your job offers? Yeah, they're usually just these dusty digital ghost towns that nobody uses and have zero real impact.
Okay, so that's the problem in a nutshell. We're basically drowning in theory, but we're starving for actual action. So now let's flip the script and look at the proposed solution. And it's a huge shift in focus. We're pivoting completely away from just passive learning and diving headfirst into active doing.
And this new model is all about something they call active habit building. And the idea here is to stop just throwing more information at you and to start actually changing your behavior. How? By linking these tiny, repeatable actions directly to your real-world spending triggers. And then you get rewarded for making those better choices, one little micro decision at a time.
And that, my friends, is where Coinstack enters the picture. The concept is just brilliantly simple. It takes your messy, real-world spending data, the good, the bad, and the oops, I did it again, and it turns it all into a personalized game that you can actually win.
Okay, but how do you actually turn a boring bank statement into a game that changes your habits for good? I mean, it sounds amazing in theory, but how does it work in practice? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that's actually driving this behavior change. This slide here, this basically shows the magic of the whole system. It's a classic habit loop, trigger, action, reward, but it's supercharged by your own life. So it all starts with a trigger. You buy something. Instantly, the app sees that transaction and bam, it generates a personalized 3-minute challenge just for you. You do it, you get that satisfying little dopamine hit from extending your streak, and here's the most important part. The app learns from your choices. It gets smarter and smarter about exactly how to help you. And for you, the user, the whole experience is designed to be completely effortless. You start with a quick quiz to get a baseline. Then you securely connect your bank account using something like Plaid, which, by the way, is a super standard, safe technology that lets apps talk to your bank without ever seeing your password. And from that moment on, the magic just happens. You get a daily push notification with a simple challenge, you knock it out in a few minutes, and you keep that winning streak alive. Easy. So you can think of the AI behind all this as a 2-part team. First, you've got the transaction intelligence agent. This thing is like a detective, just scanning your spending, looking for patterns. It's the part that notices, hey, you spend more on coffee on Mondays, and then creates a challenge to maybe make your own. Then you've got the conversational coach. This is like having a personal trainer right in your pocket. It gives you real-time encouragement and answers your questions based on your actual data, not some generic one-size-fits-all template.
All right, so the app sounds great for us, the users, but can it actually make money? Is there a real, viable company here? Let's switch gears and look at the business strategy. How do you turn changing habits into a successful, scalable company?
Well, first off, the timing for something like this could not be better. The market for what's called digital gamification is absolutely exploding. We're talking a massive 28% growth rate every single year. That's insane. People are seriously hungry for solutions that use game mechanics to improve their real lives, and Coinstack is positioned perfectly to ride that massive wave.
And their business model is a pretty smart freemium to enterprise approach. It all starts with a free quiz, which is basically a lead magnet to get people in the door. From there, you can upgrade to a monthly subscription for more advanced lessons and features. But the real engine for growth, the absolute core of the entire strategy, is that last one, the enterprise tier.
And this chart really reveals the secret sauce of their business strategy. They call it the B2B Trojan horse. Just look at the insane difference in revenue potential. Trying to get 1,000 individual people to sign up for $5 a month, that's a tough, expensive grind, and they might cancel at any time. But landing just one corporate contract for 500 employees, that brings in way more money, way more reliably. And that's why selling to businesses isn't just another option. It's the key to scaling the whole operation.
So, what's the killer feature for those corporate HR departments? It all comes down to data. See, unlike those old school wellness platforms and dusty content libraries they're used to, Coinstack can give them something they have literally never had before. Cold, hard proof that their employees' financial health is actually getting better. We're talking real, measurable return on their investment.
And that really brings us to the big picture here. If this model, this personalized, gamified approach with micro actions, if it can fix our financial habits, what else could it transform? Think about it. Fitness, learning, even our mental health. It kind of makes you wonder, are we on the verge of finally cracking the code? Of finally closing that frustrating gap between the person we are today and the person we all truly want to be?